Have you been mining Flux but noticed maybe your rigs are no longer working? That's because as of October 25th, Flux has moved over to proof of stake. That is right. You heard that correctly. They are now a staking model, no more GPU mineable model. They once claimed that they would be GPU mining forever. That will never change. Everything that was the excuse for proof of stake, like obviously we know it's more centralized and everything because whoever has a bigger bank account essentially controls the network because they can buy the most amount of coins to stake it up. And so it becomes a more centralized entity. And on top of that, there's also, the power costs and this and that and bad for the environment and landfills, blah, blah, blah. But they were a staple holder of, against all that original proof of stake. And now they just turned around and they're using the exact same excuses that Ethereum pretty much used and claimed that they moved to proof of stake. Now it's part of their whole proof of useful work V2. They named it something else now, and their POS isn't called POS, it's called something else. I don't know, but it's just another name for proof of stake. But the interesting thing here is, unlike other chains that do move to proof of stake, we can still track addresses. Now, I imagine after this video or later on, this may be changed or it might be removed or something, but we can see people's wallet addresses, or I guess in this case, nodes that are tied to these addresses and where all the blocks are coming from. So we can essentially track who has the most amount of flux to see who is finding the most amount on the nodes here. So we can see this guy is rocking. This is the past 1,000 blocks. I don't think that's accurate. Now in the last 100, it's weird because it's saying other pools here. So I don't know if other things are not being tracked, but there's all sorts of different addresses being found here with essentially this one is looking like it's finding the most. Is that the same one in the 1,000? No, that's actually a different one. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. But here we can see there's still blocks 3 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 6, 6, 6. So obviously the network is still working, but there are, I guess, addresses here on the staking side that's getting the rewards. And look how they're coming. This one here that ends in XO. We see a block here, block here, block here. Oh, we got you are here. So, it's interesting. We're seeing the same addresses pop up pretty quick, not like a whole bunch. It's not hammering on different nodes over and over and over. But yeah, very interesting thing here. Maybe I just have no idea how this works. And, this is working as intended with same address hitting and stuff. But I think it's supposed to go in a rotation based on the node you have, the kind of node and things like that. But again, I'm not 100% sure. But the point here is, guys, this is no longer GPU mineable. I know now that it has moved to proof of stake. There's a lot of people in the proof of work world that no longer care about Flux whatsoever. And, they don't even want to hear about it. They don't want to buy it. A lot of people just dump their bags because, all right, I'm done with this. They lied to us for years now, I guess, and, moving on. So it's rough in the crypto world. We can see everything is just crashing and burning down to nothing. But, what are your thoughts and opinions on Flux moving to this new node system? So I did make a post here on Twitter X here on Flux on October 27th, which was 2 days after the whole POS thing started. RIP Flux, from GPU mining for life to the same defense as Ethereum. Flux is now POS under a new name. That means the same thing to mask it. So coming in here, now we can see going through a bunch of the comments here. Flux is now POS. So, yep, some people didn't know this was happening. I did mention this a few weeks before it was even meant to happen, just to get people ready to start removing your rigs, things like that. Here we have Blue Moon Mining. Another one bites the dust. Oh, well, at least it won't have nearly the impact that Ethereum had on the market. That's very true, because when it came to GPU miners, Flux was a very small network. There was only like maybe 10 to 15,000 3080s worth of hash rate on it, not millions and millions of GPUs like obviously Ethereum had. Flux was a very small network there. Do you know something what this is? If it's the world small, okay, we got that. Here we have Danielle saying cry harder here, and good old Bitcoin eyes on Billy Crystal. Not sure why, because Flux has nothing to do with Bitcoin, but they can do whatever they want. Screwing the miners is the go woke, go broke off blockchain. Agreed. I still don't know why this change is deemed necessary. I was mining and hodling for years now. I just sold, so he means sold here. They don't deserve us. Time to short to zero. Already unstaked all my nodes. Be never. Time to swallow that. I'm just going to bite my tongue on Flux. What they talking about? So sad. I like the project. It was always a trash coin. Crypto YouTubers tried to hype it up, but even that didn't work. I was never one to really hype it up, but I had high hopes for it. But we'll see what happens. I still have high hopes for it. Hopefully, it does something for people that still have a bag, but we'll see what happens there. CEO with no words says all about the project. True. We got POS, what it stands for. Good. People are just wasting electricity anyway. People always talk about Carlson and stuff. Proof of useless work. They need to fork the chain so they can steal. Fund their advertising development budget with a laughing smiley face thing. Did you say POS as in P sub? We know that. I don't know. Sounds right. Anyway, it's the same thing going on about everything. At least the people that are miners don't really like this at all, but it is what it is. Nothing we can do about it. But so I want to know, what is your guys' thoughts and opinion? It's probably going to be close to the same things that happened during this post, but I'm still curious. What are your thoughts on this? Are you actually have your Flux staked? I do know a few people that do have a bunch of nodes, and if you do, have your rewards gone up? In theory, those emissions from the mining side should also get tied into the staking side, and then now those nodes are becoming more profitable. Obviously, it comes down to the price and stuff, but you should be seeing at least more yields because of it. If that's the case, maybe they slashed the emissions and they didn't even add that in. I don't know, but let me know down in the comment section if you're seeing increased rewards, if you are staking, or if you just gave up on it and sold it, did whatever. Let me know. I'll see you on the next one. Rabid out.